Let's now tell you how New Delhi has rejected and hit back what it called misleading propaganda in various sections of the Bangladeshi media. Those are the visuals on your screens right now as to the anti-India narrative which is being peddled by Dhaka right now. That is over a protest that took place outside the Bangladesh High Commission in New Delhi. On your left side of your screens right now is a visual of what is happening in Delhi. The hardly 20-25 people outside the Bangladesh High Commission in New Delhi. On the contrary, a sea of demonstrators demonstrating, protesting, raising slogans outside the Indian High Commission in Chittagong there. And the protest in Delhi, which took place outside the Bangladesh High Commission in New Delhi, it happened following the killing of Dipu Chandra. Well, to talk more on the anti-India narrative being peddled by Dhaka, I'm being joined by my colleague Shiv Arur. Shiv, what do you make of this anti-India narrative which is now being peddled by Bangladesh after, of course, a slew of anti-India protests taking place in Dhaka?
Well, Rahesha, you know, those two pictures that you had up on your screen just a moment ago, and we'll put those back on our screen, shows you that the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Bangladesh has extremely low credibility. It's become a bit of a laughing stock because they've issued a statement condemning the protest that happened outside the Bangladesh High Commission in Delhi. That's the image on the left. You can see 5 or 6 people, whereas the Bangladesh government said that these people scaled the wall and breached the integrity of the High Commission, which is incredibly untrue, as can be proven by these images. On the other hand, you can see images from outside the Indian consulate in Chittagong, which is a big Bangladesh city. You've got a huge unruly mob, not only threatening Indian officials, but literally damaging property, issuing death threats, calling for officials to come out and face mob justice, issuing specific threats against Indian members of the mission, etc. There's no comparison between the two. The Ministry of External Affairs here in India has issued a statement saying that the sovereignty and integrity of all foreign missions is of utmost importance and security will always be provided, and that after a few minutes of the protest in Delhi, those protesters were actually dispersed by the police. Whereas in Bangladesh, which is rapidly descending into an Islamist terror hub for radicalization, issuance of death threats, lynching of minorities, and complete lack of law and order, over a year after the so-called revolution that overthrew Sheikh Hasina, the world can see very clearly where things actually stand. India doesn't need to fact-check Bangladesh, but the anti-India narrative over there is very contrived. It is very fabricated. It is required to keep, mindless Gen Z mobs in control in some manner or the other. And that's the reason why it's happening. Nobody with any credibility buys that narrative.
Right, Shiv. My last question to you. What are India's options right now with one of its closest neighbors behaving in such an unruly manner, with anti-India demonstrations taking place and, of course, anti-India narrative being peddled by leading media houses there in Dhaka?
Well, Rahesha, the reason why India's options become important is because you've got 2 big states bordering Bangladesh that go to the elections in the next few weeks and months. You've got Assam, you've got Bengal, you've got an issue that is rapidly descending into chaos. These are porous borders that exist between India and Bangladesh. This is a country that is hosting Pakistani military delegations. This is a country where the ISI is able to manipulate things and, conduct possible political assassinations in order to try and implicate India as well. So India's options, are, I believe, across the spectrum, whether they are diplomatic, whether they are people to people, whether they are government to government, possibly, in the military spectrum, there could be some options as well. Who knows where things could actually go? At this point of time, things are very, very open. India has always been considered a big brother to Bangladesh. It's a country that has, has a legacy and a relationship with the birth of Bangladesh as well. And that's the reason why things are a little complicated now, because the cultural ties between India and Bangladesh are actually very deep. People-to-people contacts are very deep. But these Islamist mobs that have been normalized by Muhammad Yunus and the and the ecosystem that supports them within Bangladesh, within Pakistan, possibly within China as well, is what India needs to look at very closely.